Welcome, seekers of the light. Let us transport our minds to the gates of the desert, where a forest of stone rises beneath a fiery sky. Here stand the temples, the pylons, and the pyramids. Here, couchant and unfathomable sphinxes overlook the plains, guarding the rock-quarried cities of the dead that open their profaned portals upon the banks of the silent river. This is Egypt. It is not merely a country, it is a strange land and a venerable book. It is a mystery that modern man is scarcely beginning to spell, struggling to comprehend the manifold races and religions contained within the mystery of the ages. 1. Before the pyramids. To understand the soul of Egypt, we must look back, far beyond the conventional horizons of history. While many Orientalists suggest that India bequeathed civilization and faith to Egypt, other authorities contend that the land of Isis possessed its own primordial traditions. These were the heritage of an extinct race, the Red Man, who came from out of the West. After terrible struggles with the white men and geological cataclysms, this race was almost exterminated. Consider the Sphinx of Giza. It is not merely a companion to the pyramids, it antedates the Great Pyramid by several thousand years. It was erected by these red men near where the Nile once flowed into the sea, standing today as one of the rare remaining monuments of those distant, forgotten times. Through the deciphering of hieroglyphs and papyri found in the tombs, we have begun to reconstruct this history and the ancient doctrine of the Verb-Light. This is a threefold divinity: intellect, force, and matter, spirit, soul, and body, which offers a perfect analogy to the philosophy of India. Here, as there, we discover the same hidden thought beneath a coarse overgrowth of ritual. The true vitality of Egypt, the secret of the part she played in history, lies hidden in the occult doctrine of her priests. This doctrine was carefully masked by the mysteries of Isis and Osiris, pondered over in the depths of the temples by initiates of all ranks. The sacred books of Hermes expounded these principles in an austere guise, forming a vast encyclopedia of all human knowledge, though, alas, not all these books have reached us. 2. Hieroglyphs and language. However, the temples themselves are mammoth volumes. In the land of the pharaohs, the very stones have voices. Champollion, the great modern scientist, confirmed the opinion of the ancients. The priests of Isis employed 3 different species of characters. First, the demotic, which was clear and simple. Second, the hieratic, which held a symbolical or figurative sense. And finally, the hieroglyphs. This is what Heraclitus meant by the words speaking, signifying, and hiding. The hieroglyphs possessed a threefold signification and remained undecipherable without a key. Into these signs entered the law of analogy that governs the 3 worlds: natural, human, and divine. Through a combination of numbers and figures, the harmonious symmetry and unity of the universe were reproduced, allowing a single hieroglyph to convey principles, causes, and effects. To the adept, this language was intensely forceful. In this ancient structure, the priest was the true ruler of Egypt. The king was but a mandatory governor, chosen and initiated by the priest. Thus, lofty aspiration united with deep wisdom watched over the destiny of the land. Situated between ferocious Assyria and wild Africa, Egypt was like an island against which the billows of a barbarous world vainly strove, preserving the pure doctrine and the hidden lore of antiquity. Sages, philosophers, and chiefs, Greeks, Hebrews, Phoenicians, and Etruscans all came hither to seek inspiration. Through them, the religious thought gathered at the shrine of Isis spread along the Mediterranean, giving birth to civilizations diverse in form but uniform in their hidden principle. Monotheistic with Moses in Judea, polytheistic with Orpheus in Greece. 3. The hidden path of the initiate. But let us distinguish the mirage from the truth. The popular worship of Isis and Osiris, with its pomp of public show, was a brilliant display for the crowd. Beneath this ceremonial, the vital teaching lay hidden, revealed only in the mysteries. Initiation was not for the faint of heart. It was attended by serious difficulties, genuine danger, and lengthy physical and moral tests. An oath of secrecy was exacted, where the slightest indiscretion was visited with death. This redoubtable discipline imparted remarkable authority to the secret doctrine. As the adept progressed, the veils parted. The symbols took on life and speech. The Sphinx, with a woman's head on a bull's body, lion's claws, and eagle's wings, was revealed not as a monster, but as the symbol of a human being emerging from the depths of animality to attain a new condition. Man was the great enigma, epitomizing all elements and forces of lower nature. Even the bizarre gods with heads of birds and serpents were symbols of life in its innumerable guises. Above Osiris, the solar god, and Isis, the great nature, there was an unnamed god, of whom one spoke only low and fearfully. 4. The laws and truth. The first duty of the neophyte was self-knowledge. The Hierophant instructed him, O soul that is blind, equip thyself with the torch of mystery. In the terrestrial light wilt thou find thy luminous double, thy celestial soul. At the end of his trials, shaken by hairbreadth escapes, the initiative would perceive a woman's figure bearing a roll of papyrus, his invisible sister, his divine soul. She would say, "This is the scroll of thy life. This bell will not save you and heaven at all. It contains the full pages of thy past lives and the blank pages of thy life to come." Finally, roofed by the starry night on a temple terrace overhanging sleeping Memphis or Thebes, the high priest would recite the Vision of Hermes, a vision orally transmitted and graven in subterranean crypts. Listen closely, for this is the core of the ancient wisdom. Hermes beheld the heavens, and the voice of the light revealed the divine mystery. The light is the divine intellect. The darkness is the material world. The fire that flames from the depths is the divine word. Their union is life. The spirit of man has a twofold destiny: in matter, captivity; in light, elevation. Souls are daughters of heaven, captives of matter, enamored of life. They fall like a rain of fire through the regions of sorrow, love, and death, until they attain the terrestrial prison, where divine life appears like a vain dream. Base souls remain enslaved to earth by multitudinous rebirths, but virtuous spirits, mounting on strong wings, regain sight of divine things. They become luminous, imbued with lucidity through sorrow and volition acquired by battling with life. The pontiff would urge the initiate to comfort his darkened spirit by contemplating the flights of souls, ascending the ladder of spheres to the Father, where all ends and eternally begins. And the seven spheres cried together, wisdom, love, justice, beauty, splendor, science, immortality. The pontiff would conclude, Ponder this vision, in it lies the secret of all things. The closer thou comest to know it, the further will its meaning extend. For the same organic law governs all worlds. The pontiff would conclude, ponder this vision, in it lies the secret of all things. The closer thou comest to know it, the further will its meaning extend, for the same organic law governs all worlds. This truth was veiled because it must be proportioned to the intellect. It would craze the weak and weaponize the wicked. The initiate was commanded, enclose it in thy heart. Science will be thy strength, the law thy sword, and silence thy shield. We must recognize that the science of these Egyptian priests in many ways surpassed modern science. They controlled magnetism and somnambulism. They cured by means of artificial sleep and practiced suggestion, arts they designated as magic. The highest ambition was the crown of the Magi. This crown signifies that every will which unites with God to manifest truth and accomplish justice participates, even in this life, in the divine power over men and things. This is the eternal recompense of enfranchised spirits. 5. Conclusion. Though the genius of Egypt was eventually overwhelmed by a flood of invasions, the light did not die. The school of Alexandria saved remnants of this wisdom, transmitting it to dawning Christianity. And before that, Greek initiatives had introduced these Hermetic doctrines into Hellas. Thus, the silence of the Sphinx is not empty. It speaks to us still, across the millennia, telling us that while civilizations crumble, the journey of the soul, from captivity in matter to the elevation of light, is eternal.